Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. As today, you might be wondering, there's no Oilers on the screen. Well, technically there is in these two teams, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. And, you know, we all know McDavid's going to the Olympics. That's in 3 months. Like, it's coming down the wire. I'm not going to talk about Team Canada because we have arguably 3, 4 other guys that could actually go play for Team Canada in February. The team we are talking about is the Finnish squad here in blue, and the reason why we're talking about them is because question came up to Mikko Koskinen probably about 5 days ago about the Olympics, because we all know that barring any injuries or something, Jesse Puljujarvi is making this team. Jesse Puljujarvi is having an amazing season. Like, I was just looking at his numbers, and he is right now, that's Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He has 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points in 10 games. He's over a point per game player. And you could say, oh, that's because he's playing with Connor McDavid. But in reality, one of those goals against the Rangers, that was him working hard. A couple of his goals was because he's been working hard. And that's what we like to see, is a hard-working, big guy like Puljujarvi doing that. And looking over his stats, yeah, he only has 74 points in 204 games. That's a low end for I believe we took him 4th overall, or 3rd overall. That is essentially not great for a 4th, but the number that catches my eye is on there is, even though he hasn't scored much, he is still a +1. That's insane, considering who he played with before he went back to Finland for a year and a half. Considering he played with Lucic, Kajula, they did try him with McDavid. It didn't work out at that time. He played with Ebbs for a bit. So he is a shoo-in. There's no doubt about it. He has upped his game. I've loved watching him in those interviews. How he's just like, maybe, I don't know, like he's just having a good time, and he's finally enjoying the game of hockey, especially in Edmonton. And look what has happened with him. And props to Ken Holland for not giving him up and trading him. What would this team be like if we actually traded him? You can't tell me that there'd be another player on that line that could actually do what Puljujarvi does, in the exception of Zach Hyman. So that's my take is, yeah, Puljujarvi is a shoot-in for this Finnish team, barring, knock on wood, no injuries. Now, the bigger one is, what about Mikko Koskinen? Fans have mixed feelings about him. I'll even admit, I got mixed feelings about him. There's games where he's lights out, everyone loves him. Then there's games like, even though we did win against the Rangers, there were some weak goals let in. I'm not saying I could save them, but when it comes down to it, he did make a big save without looking, but we need a couple more bigger saves, like the one that I believe it was Zibanejad came in, shot far side over the blocker. That should have been a big save. But he is progressing. He is better than last year when Mike Smith was hurt. I'll give him that. But is he a shoe-in for this Finnish squad coming the Olympics, when they have to I'm pretty sure they have to play Canada in the group stage. They are with Germany and I think it's Japan. So they do have a chance to be one of the top 3 teams for sure. Now, let's look at Koskinen's stats before we go into who the Finnish can actually take, and if Mikko Koskinen can actually become that goalie. So, as we all know, Mikko's 7-1. Probably the best. That's a pretty good start, considering the goals against is 2.54, so that's on the medium end of all goalies, which is fine, considering he has let in a couple games where it's been 5 goals, but then he's also stopped and only let in 1 or 2 goals. he has a 920 save percentage. Can't ask much considering the Oilers are ranked in the bottom 6, I believe, in shots against per team. That's phenomenal. So his career-wise, he's played 131 games. He's actually a winning goalie. He has 65 wins, 49 losses, and 9 OT losses. So he actually has more wins than losses, which when I looked at this, that was surprising. But his goals against is just a shy under 3, and his save percentage is just 9.908. So he is having a great season number-wise compared to what his career-wise numbers are. Now, they asked if he would make Team Finland, and he basically said he wasn't sure. Like, he wants to. That's a dream. Apparently, it's a dream for all Finland players is to represent Finland and come over to North America. Like, it's a tradition, basically, is what I've read about it. So now we look at the goalies, and out of all the goalies, there's 7 current NHL Finnish goalies. Out of those 7, Mikko is the 4th with games played, 131. There's guys above him, guys below him. So there's a guy, Ville Husso, plays for St. Louis. He was drafted by St. Louis. He's only played 18 games, I don't see Finland going with a rookie goalie that young. Then we go to Minnesota. They got Kaapo Kähkönen. I had him on my fantasy team last season. I should probably start this for you guys so you can watch. I had him on my fantasy team. He's a pretty good goalie. I got a buddy of mine that lives down near Minnesota, has seen him play, watches him all the time. He could be one of those goalies that steals the show and actually makes Team Finland they have 3 goalies going. Now, the other one is Kevin Lankinen, goalie for the Chicago Blackhawks. I also had him. I don't see him making it considering, unless he can turn the Chicago Blackhawks around right now, I don't see him making the Finnish squad at all, just based on what his numbers is right now, and Kähkönen actually has the better numbers between the two. Then we go Mikko Koskinen, which, it's a hit or miss with him. We love him, we hate him, He's been playing lights out hockey. I'll give him that. Just he needs to make one of those big saves here and more than once a game. But he could be the second or third string goalie. I don't see him taking first. But then we got Jonas Korpisalo, which does Korpisalo beat Koskinen? With Merzinkins being the starter in Columbus, a rested Korpisalo could beat Mikko Koskinen for the goaltending job as the second or third string, just because he's rested, and Mikko Koskinen is essentially playing so many games because Mike Smith is hurt. Then we go with number 2, Jussi Saros. That is my number 1 pick for Finland, is what he's doing for Nashville and behind the mentorship that he had of Pekka Rinne. He is a good goalie. As much as a lot of people criticize him, like a lot of reporters criticize him, he is a decent goalie. I'm not denying that. And then at number 1, you got Antti Ranta. That one for me is the hit or miss of if Koskinen actually makes it, would be Ranta. He took a big hit yesterday. Lundberg basically steamrolled him. I'm not too sure what his current condition is. But out of all the goalies, Ranta does have the better goals against average. Not the better save percentage. That goes to Saros. But they are pretty equal. So basically when it comes down to Team Finland, if we want to see Mikko Koskinen on that Team Finland, he's going to have to outplay Jonas Korpisalo, Jussi Saros, and Antti Ranta, and maybe Kaapo Kähkönen. There's 3 spots. That gives Koskinen a good chance to, even if he's a third string goalie, that's still an Oiler going to the Olympics, other than Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and the possibility of some other names, which I'll do a video on tomorrow. But let me know in the comments if you think what you think will happen. Do you see 2 Finnish Oilers going to the Olympics for Team Finland? How many Oilers do you think will go to the Olympics this year? Let me know in the comments. You guys have yourself a great night. I'll talk to you later.